Hello, everyone, and welcome to another week of Adam vs. James at TheEndStep.com. This week, James, will be playing a mono red deck. I decided to play something fast and loose, because I felt like it. The list I found on that 4-day daily event on Magic Online. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, whoever played it. Uh, I call it 2-drop red because it's really focused on the 2-drop slot. I mean, it has higher curve things, but it's mostly focused on the 2-drop slot. So we have our basic 1-drop aggressive guys that like every mono red deck plays. Stromkirk Noble and Rakdos Cackler. Nothing really more to say about those guys. They can run away with the game early on if they don't get removed, or otherwise they're just crappy top decks later on. They're just standard tech. Then the All-Star Ash Zealot that we get to play because we're mono red. The flashback clause on him is actually like fairly relevant these days. Everyone's playing lots of flashback spells, so I feel like he's pretty good. And then the 2-drop slot, which is where I think the deck shines. It's playing Burning-Tree Emissary with no green because all of its 2-drops are red colorless, so we can still make use of the green, but we don't actually have any green cards. So we're playing Emissary into like Lightning Mauler and into Gore-house Chainwalker, which is almost strictly better than something like Mog Flunkies. The fact that it could potentially block if I have to have a block, or it can attack by itself, and it's still a large body, so we can put a lot of power on the table. Then past the 2-drop slot, we're playing Boros Reckoners and 4 Hellriders. Just to top the curve out is some like raw power. Hellrider is like pretty awesome with Lightning Mauler, just because like everything's gonna have haste. I'm gonna be attacking every turn, something like that. And then my main deck burn spells. I got 2 Pillar of Flames, mostly for 1-drop creatures. It's good in mirror matches. Kills all the Arbor Elves and Absence Pilgrims that are floating around. Kills lots of like creatures that would block or threaten a block. Then the mainstay of 4 Searing Spears. Those are pretty stock. You really can't discuss those. And 3 Brimstone Volleys. To me, this just feels like closing the game out like as soon as possible. There are board states that around turn 4 or 5 or 6, your chances of winning really, really decrease, and you could just like throw in a suicide move and finish them off with a Morbid Volley. Volley's like really good for that, I've always felt. But it is 3 mana, so it's kind of high cost, so I don't know how relevant it's actually going to be. We're playing 19 lands in this list, which I actually kind of like. I really like going all out on creatures or max aggression and low lands, because I hate getting land screwed in something like a mono red deck. Either route. I'm more accepting of not having enough land versus having too many, because I'm expecting that happen once in a while, but getting flooded is just out of my realm of understanding when I play 19 lands. So yeah, that's the main deck. Fast, aggressive, really trying to abuse Burning-Tree Emissary just like everybody else. Hopefully it's enough. One thing to note is that a deck like this is actually like a pretty good contender in the metagame right now, because if something like Junk Reanimator or like other mid-range strategies are really, really popular, something like this does really good to slide right underneath everything. There's plenty of draws in this kind of a deck where it's just too fast for a Junk Reanimator or even like a Thragtusk to handle, and you can steal lots of wins. So this is something to consider if your metagame is filled with a lot of like slow decks. It's also like pretty good against Esper if they can't stabilize fast enough. So that's the main deck, and we're going to move on to the sideboard. So here we are with the sideboard for the mono red 2-drop deck. Pretty expected things, honestly. We've got 4 Skullcracks to fight anything with mono life gain in it. Any like major Sphinx Revelation deck, or like something that abuses Thragtusk. Skullcrack's like really, really solid. More Pillar of Flames for low creature decks, 1-drop decks, 2 power decks, anything like that. Flames of the Firebrand is excellent against any kind of Lingering Souls deck or one power deck, anything like that. It's very good. Volcanic Strength is really good against all the mountain users. It's good in Naya, or it's good against Naya. It's good against Jund. Oh, depending on the Jund list, it's good against Jund. I wouldn't bring it in against normal mid-range Jund that has lots of removal, because you're just going to get 2 for 1. But the Jund aggro decks, I would definitely bring it in against. And then Pyreheart Wolves, mostly for mirror matches, to break the mirror match open, and I like it against any decks that have very little to no removal, but still play something like Loxodon Smiter, something huge and aggressive. Those generally tend to be Thragtusk decks or Bant decks or anything like that. I really like Pyreheart Wolf. You get a lot of value. He's good against removal. He's good against board wipes, and he just lets all your dudes get through and pushes a lot of damage. So pretty standard stuff. Your options are pretty limited with 1 color, but there are good options in the color. So that's the sideboard for the mono red deck, and we'll see how the games go.